Hi guys, how are you? Welcome to your leader training webinar. Can you guys put your name in the chat box when you get here and just let me know who is on? Put your name in, just say hi, say something. So we'll give it a few minutes for people to log on and get connected. Lydia is like our Brazilian bombshell, Brazil first trainer in Brazil. Yvette, how are you? Shell, how are you? We are just letting people move on in. So put your name in the chat box, Kitty Cats. Put your name in the chat box so that I can see who's here. I can speak more directly to you, which would be great. And as people are coming on, just wanted to fill you in on what's going on over here in my world. So a lot of creativity, a lot of processing information, and really working on birthing a new level of what it is that I'm doing, what we're doing. And it's been really quite interesting to be in this place again where I really literally feel like I'm birthing a baby, that it's messy, it's like uncertain and exciting because the promise of something so amazingly new, and all those kinds of mixed emotions. But I really have to say that since we opened up this training for, again, the next level of attendees, it feels like it's really coming together in a way that I'm really excited about. I'm really excited to talk to you guys about. And I'm really excited because I feel like this next few months, what I really want to do to help the awareness grow about Intensati and us and our community and what we're doing is to go to direct consumer product. A direct consumer product means it's that product that it does not blah, blah, blah. Sorry, I'm getting all these ideas in my mind. So the leader training is not a direct to consumer because it's going directly to you, a person who's going to take the information and use it to grow your business, develop yourself personally, add to something you're already doing. But the direct to consumer is that product where I feel like I can reach a broader audience, and it's an easier entry point into participating in this lifestyle. And I'm excited about that. I think it's going to help us a lot. I think it's going to help strengthen the brand and get more people involved, make more people interested, which ultimately I really hope means that it inspires you even more. And I know some of you are really already super devoted and you're teaching your classes and you're working and you're developing yourselves. So I know there's a lot of you out there that are doing that. And I know there's some of you who are really still scared to teach, scared to do those first few classes, scared to like not have people show up in your classes. And I understand that, I really do. And my commitment is that I keep looking for new ways to help you cross that gap and help you have that courage just to get to your next level, right? And to enjoy the process. And that's what we're going to be talking about tonight. We're going to be talking a little bit about that. But I also wanted to share a really interesting story, which is going to relate to part of what we're going to be talking about tonight. So I was talking to my sister last weekend. She called me and she said, I really want to talk to you. I have something to tell you. And it was kind of, that kind of I want to talk to you where this is not going to be a great positive talk. There's something that needs to be said. So I kind of braced myself for this conversation, and I started talking to my sister, who you guys have heard me talk about. Her name's Norma, and she was the one that I shared a lot about, that was dealing with scleroderma, a life-threatening illness. Then she did a lot of work and really experienced what I would call a miracle, right? She healed where most people don't even consider healing. So scleroderma is something that most people just die with. They may manage, they may slow down, but they never, I shouldn't say never, because I don't know that that's true. I would say rarely do they reverse what they've already experienced. And Norma was experiencing 90% loss in her mobility, which meant her face was so tight she couldn't fit a fork full of food in her mouth. Like, she'd have to, it would be opening like this much. She had to get a new car so that the car would come up and down because she couldn't bend her knees. She couldn't raise her arms above this because her body was so tight. So all the things had to be lowered down in her home. She couldn't open a jar. If she fell or tripped on anything, she couldn't get herself back up. She was in the bathtub, she couldn't get out. So we're talking an incredible amount of loss in mobility. She was teaching classes like I do, and dance classes. So very, very active, very mobile, very physical. And then she came down with this. She used a daily practice of meditation and prayer and workouts and affirmations and visualizations, and she increased her mobility back to 90%, which means not only do her arms come up to normal ranges, does she not necessarily need this car that goes up and down. If you see her, there's no evidence whatsoever that she's sick. Zero, no evidence. And she's running. She runs probably 5 miles, 6 miles a day up hills. I mean, we're talking a radical improvement. Well, when she called me the other day, she said, I'm really upset. I've been so miserable and so toxic and so depressed and just like hating my life, like hating it, and just feeling devastated and depressed. And she said, and I started to feel symptoms again of my illness. And so she was calling to kind of confess this coming back of her illness. And she said, I wasn't telling anybody. I didn't tell my husband. I didn't tell my child. I didn't tell anybody, not at my friends, no one. But I finally decided I had to go back to the doctor because the symptoms were really coming back, and I couldn't believe that I had done this to myself again. So she tells me she went to the doctor, and the doctor said there was no evidence of the illness in her blood work. In fact, not only was there not evidence of it in her blood work, but that the blood work was even better than it was before. And she was saying how sweet her husband was and how loved she felt, and that my sister was emailing her and how loved she felt by that, and how loved she felt by her friends and by me and my other sister, and that she was going to beat this thing. And I'm listening to her and I'm going, but I don't understand. And I even take notes. So when I'm doing a coaching call or any call where I'm trying to really concentrate, I literally write everything the person's saying to the best of my ability. It's like a stenographer in court, right? Because sometimes I want to be able to go back and look. And I go back and look and I said, what did you just say? She said, now I have to tell this person and that person, I have to confess. I'm like, but why are you upset? I don't understand why you're upset. She said, because of the symptoms that I have. And I said, do you understand that the blood work says you don't have it? You don't have it. Why are you acting like you have it? You don't have it. It's not there. And it was so interesting because she was thinking like her blood work didn't catch up to the symptoms yet, something like that, which was really, for me, I was like, I can't even, what? Like, you're so, mind is so twisted. I said, what were you doing? What have you been doing? Well, that's not true. I know what she's been doing. I said, show me what you've been doing. So she has a practice that she does that that was a part of the work that we did before many years ago for her other illness. So she had been writing. And this was, I think this was even a suggestion from Dr. Levry at one point, not for her, but just in general. You write this mantra 108 times. This particular mantra that she had been writing is a mantra for removing blocks and having you move forward. She writes it 108 times every single day for a year, for a long time. And I was saying, this is in her depressed, down state of being every day. I wish I could show you the picture of it every day. And then writing this mantra, and then what she wants for herself, what she wants for her family, and again and again and again. And affirmations and all of these things. And I said, do you understand that if you're praying, if you're doing this kind of work, this very intention setting, you're seeing it done and you are embodying it and you are thinking independently of your circumstances, you're literally using a mantra that opens you up to remove blocks in your life. It creates miracles in your life. I said, how do you think that miracle is created? How do you think that was going to show up in your life? Like a pizza delivery? Like one day you just like get it? I said, if you're praying for something to change in your life and you are investing in yourself every day, there is nothing that you have to physically do. It will be done for you. So in your praying and your intention setting and your calling forth, even, and I'm telling you, when I say she was angry and depressed, I am talking palpable, that her son was saying, I don't even know what to do anymore. I can't even be around her. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do. Like closed down, completely, severely blocked and closed. And I said, how do you think the answer to that prayer might have shown up? And she was like, I don't know. I said, if you're asking for a shift is a shift in perception. It's a shift in your awareness. It's a shift of how you're seeing things. When she said to me that after she went to the doctor and she looked at her husband and felt this overwhelming feeling of love, like she literally said, my God, I can't believe I saw Steve with these new eyes. I felt so loved by him. He was uplifting me, saying, we're going to beat this and don't worry. And she said, it was finally like I could see him. And she goes, and then I get this text from my other sister. She goes, it was so sweet. It was so touching. I felt so loved. And then she said, and you talking me through this at this level, I can't believe how much I am feeling all of this love. And I said, Norma, none of us have changed. Steve has not changed. I have not changed. Your other sisters have not changed. We have loved you and we have been loving you. There is nothing new that we are doing now that you are sharing this fear and this worry that you have, that you might have manifested this illness. I said, the love has always been here. The miracle that's happening now as a result of your investing yourself on a daily basis, no matter how you felt. That means it didn't matter if you were depressed, you were still writing every single day. You're veil has been lifted. You're seeing with new eyes. That's called a spiritual breakthrough. That is when a spiritual shift has happened. We didn't change. You changed. If you're praying for a miracle, what do you think is going to happen? Circumstances are going to happen. In her case, the circumstance that happened was she started to experiencing the fear and the symptoms of her illness, which caused her to get to a very heightened level of fear. That fear, and she's writing and she's writing and she's affirming and she's praying, and it doesn't matter. She's still in like the worst toxic mood ever, but she's still doing it. The shift has to come in some way in your life that will push you, compel you, move you, force you to have a shift. So if that had to manifest in you feeling physical symptoms so that you would go to the doctor, so that your husband would be there and you'd see him with new eyes, and you'd see us with new eyes, and you'd see your friends with new eyes, then that was the perfect way for that to happen. Although it's colored in this negative physical thing, we need that pain often to move us, to force us to make the change. And that's what you prayed for. That was what you prayed for, you intended for it. Now, it was really, when I heard all of this, I was like so moved, because so many reasons. Of course, because of her and her health, and she feels so radically freed from, I'm telling you, a very dark time that I didn't have any idea how this was going to happen. But it was a gift for me, because what I've been working on is the practice. And the practice is that it is developing yourself in a consistent and conscious way. We're not talking dabbling anymore. We're not talking when we feel like it. We're not talking once in a while. We are talking about becoming masters at creating these kinds of shifts in our lives deliberately, but not by focusing on the physical realm. Now, this is what we do in Intensati already. We focus on a shift of state. We focus on a shift of perception. We use our words not to describe the life that we have, but to describe the life that we want to have. We understand the power of intention. We understand spiritual laws. But what we don't have in this community yet, you as leaders or people that I coach, teach, train, speak to in any way, shape, or form come across, is I don't have, or I have not until now, created the practice of becoming, the term that I'm using, that spiritual badass, that person that knows the power of word, power of affirmation, the power of prayer, the power of meditation, the power of speaking into and declaring life into existence, the power of mental rehearsal and visualization to the point that feeling is ignited. You guys know about these skills, but you're not masters of these skills. The practice is purely about becoming the master of these skills. Not talking about it, not reading about it, but doing it. Now, obviously, I cannot force anybody to do anything, nor is that my job. But what I am aiming to do is to create the practice in a way that it will be as easy as possible for you to win at this and to develop a stronger level of interaction, accountability, and community connection, so that with that, they say that your likelihood of succeeding at whatever it is you want to do goes up by 33% when you have someone you're accountable to. So this new leader training program, and I started with that story because I was blown away by that story. To see this shift in her level of consciousness was so radical. It was one other time I've ever seen something, such a radical shift of someone's personality, was when my mom was dying, and she had a radical shift. She was like my sister was, angry and mad and blaming and resentful and critical and jealous, like just toxic. But she had kind of an instant spiritual shift when she realized she was dying, and she just called and forgave everybody and was saying things. I'm like, who is this woman? Who is this woman? And that is, I don't know what happened there. I don't know why that happened. I've not experienced that happening with anybody else that I've been with who was dying. But it also gives me that level of confidence in the practice that I'm adding to the leader training, which is with a level of consistency. When we are literally training ourselves through meditation, that ability to focus our attention, that ability to describe, even just describe what we want for our lives. Like, do you know what you want? Do you really know? If I gave you a magic wand, could you go ching, 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 and this and this and this? Could you do that? Most people don't. I know that for me, it's like, because there's so much fear about making the wrong decision or deciding, or that we don't practice this level of asking ourselves, what do I want? So the practice is about learning. It's going to start with a lesson, a topic, a law, a spiritual law, something that's going to elevate our understanding. But we're not going to stop it at there. Then it's going to move into intention setting. What is it that you do want? Clarity. And for 30 days, although this course is going to last 4 weeks online, it extends into the monthly as well. And you're going to understand, learn how to focus on what you want. You'll learn something, some teaching, some law, as I said. Then you'll learn to make a connection to your heart, like meditating in that place where you are consciously co-creating with the force of good. Then affirmations, as you know, that's kind of like the Intensati part, which is an audio. It's not just the physical. There's access to the physical, but it'll be just something that you sit and listen to. Then moving from that level of manifesting, being great at all of these different things, we end by propelling you to what's considered third stage of conscious co-creating your life, which is where you become a receiver, an allower, somebody who can then walk into your day allowing life to align circumstances that suit your highest good, instead of walking out into your day like, I have to hustle, I have to fill this class, I have to make more money, I have to make sure more people are showing up, I have to do. It'll be from a level of consciousness that's already elevated. So your doing is inspired doing. It's not forceful doing out of fear. I better do this because I'm scared, and if I don't, what if I fail? It's an alignment. So This doesn't happen by reading a book. It only happens through practice, conscious practice. And this part of the practice is meant to help develop self-efficacy, the ability to follow through, the ability to be able to start and finish something. And that is also done through practice. That ability to take a goal that's just outside of your reach, but not so far that it takes you into overwhelm, but enough that it stretches you. So you build the muscle of being able to follow through and not give up. I mean, we saw evidence of it just in this last 30-day training. It's very difficult for people to stay committed and actually follow through. So just for yourself, did you follow through? Have you followed through on these 30 days? It's not a question that I'm going to ask you to answer, but just check with yourself, right? I'm glad that I followed through, but I'll tell you, you guys know that I've tried with coffee many, many times and haven't followed through. And I think the big piece here was the accountability and the sharing of that with you guys. So I want to develop more of that. I want there to be more opportunities for you guys to help each other, for you guys to connect and grow on all of these levels. So this new training is really going to highlight that. So I want to tell you that if you are coming back to do this training, what you can get and what benefits it will bring to you. So as I was just discussing, and as I pull up my notes, as I was just discussing, this is really going to focus on personal development. I think the webinars that we did this past year were really focused on what is the theme of that month and how do we talk about that theme, but it didn't go in as deeply to you personally getting in a practice every single day. My goal is that you'll wake up at least a half an hour earlier than you need to, and that you'll invest and that we'll take this time together to transform, right? To really, really move. So let me tell you what this is going to, what is this package deal for you guys? Amy, you want to put that up? Do you have that slide? Okay, great. So here's the other piece. There's a few pieces here that are new that I want to talk to you about. So we're adding a thing called verification. Verification means once you're certified, you either turn in a video or you do a one-on-one Skype session and you're able to get verified. You get this check mark that says yes. Musicality, cueing, all of that is good. The monthly subscription is not something that we have said is a must, but it is a must now if you want to keep your certification active. So to be actively certified, you have to be participating in the monthly subscription. And the monthly subscription is going to include a live class. So not just the recorded pieces. You're going to have the recorded pieces, but you'll also have a live full class, which I think is key. You're going to have the practice, which is added training, as I just described. And you're welcome to come back to the weekend, which is going to start on a Friday night, which no matter what, whether you sign up for these or not, I really want you to come on November 18th. I know that those of you who are far away, you may not be able to do so, but maybe we'll live stream it for you guys. But I'd love for everybody to be there that night. So new leaders meeting older leaders and talking and chatting and connecting and all of that stuff. So we're going to kick it off like that. Then you're going to go through the 2-day in-person, the basics, all those things that you guys know. But if you want to come back and you want a refresher on that, you're welcome to do that, which I think is a great idea for anybody who is, especially in the area, anybody. I think it's a refresher is good. I'm coming up with some new things and some new ways to layer how we teach the class and some new options for you guys that I've been using that I think have been made a significant impact in my ability to work with brand new clientele, people that have never taken it before. So, excuse me, let me take a sip. So LIA leaders are Love in Action leaders. Love in Action leaders are those leaders that trained in 2015 and 16, or they're leaders that trained a while ago but did the upgrade last year and they got the Love in Action, they came to the 2-day and they did that next level. They've been in the training. So the monthly fee is $45 a month, which comes out to be $540. But we're going to put it in this, we're going to lower that price for you guys. And we're going to, and the practice is valued at $1,000. So instead of $1,540, Love in Action leaders only pay $600, and that will get you also the verification if you do it by December. By December, when you're verified, it means we've checked you off, you have another certificate that says you've been verified, and what that means, you also will be able to be on the website listed as a verified leader. That means you're representing the brand. That means if somebody's looking for a teacher in their area, they're going to look on the website. If you're not verified, you're still considered in training, but you can be teaching. Obviously, you guys are already teaching. Then the non-Love in Action leaders are leaders that trained before 2015. So you're going to get the practice. You're going to get the 2-day or the weekend training. You're going to get the monthly subscription for 1 year, plus the verification fee, which is the practice valued at $1,000. Weekend in-person training is $450. Monthly subscription $540, and verification fee $100. So, and Love in Action bonus $250. So we're going to put that in there as well because we want you guys all to be caught up and have access to all the same materials. So if you decide to do that, it's $1,000, and that takes you through a full year, a complete year. Plus you're gonna get, the practice has ongoing updated practices. So the practice doesn't stop just at the 4-week online course, which is gonna have a live component to it, but there's going to be a continuation of that practice. So you're going to have all the things that you need to teach as a leader, which is the live class, the breakdown, the music suggestions, the we're going to take back the, we're going to bring back in the focus of the month theme, but we're also adding this challenge piece, this piece of actual personal taking on the change. So it's really, how I'm thinking about this training now is it's really a spiritual badass training. It really is for you. It's for you to be able to stand with confidence and be able to bring forth the change within yourself that you want. And before, I think we focused a lot on the skills of teaching, which obviously are very important, but adding this piece is going to, I believe, help you feel more confident. And I have some new ideas of how I think that you guys can actually bring forth this information. There might be some of you that just don't want to teach, but you still want to create. You can still create communities. You don't have to go through the whole class. You guys could take the live class together. You could invite people over and say, new series is here. Let's meet once a week and let's watch the live class on Apple TV, on the TV, and then let's talk about what the training is like. Let's talk about what's the challenge this month. And you can become a facilitator of these communities, and you can grow these communities. So we can talk about all these new ways and new ideas of how to serve without having it to be stuck looking like it just has to be at a gym like Equinox or any particular gym. So I really want to encourage you guys to do kids. I want to encourage you guys to do mother-daughter and those kinds of really deeply connecting and bonding kinds of events, developing small groups, going into corporations, many, many, many more ideas. And I want to support you in being able to do that. And I want you to be really, I just really want you to be somebody who can be masterful at manifesting what you want. And I'm excited to do this with you. Really, I'm excited to do this with you and go even deeper in my own personal practice. I have been in this last, I'd say 8 months, doing the practice myself, getting up at 5 o'clock and using that time from 5 to 7 a.m. to just be consistent and to create all of this stuff for you guys. So I'm really hopeful that you'll continue and that you will be excited about what we're bringing forth, and that you will stay in the game with us. And if you want to talk about it personally, if you want to have a phone call and talk it through a little bit more in any way, I'm totally open and taking phone calls this week just to answer questions and see if it's really right for you. So I hope you'll take advantage of that. I'm looking forward to that. And I really, really hope that you guys will stay and continue and continue to grow with us and be a part of this. Yeah, and I think that's it. If you are not in the monthlies, you will not have access to purchasing series anymore, right? So this is really what I'm doing with this is kind of giving more boundaries about how the brand can be used and at what level, and also creating a way for you guys to have feedback so that we can help you get to that level where we're just growing and moving forward. So any questions from anybody who's on? You know, I did a live stream on this on Facebook today earlier too. So if you want to watch anything, I'm looking more about, I talked a little bit more about it in other ways. Different things came out in the live stream. So now you lost the chat. Here I am. Melissa, Vinny's here. Rob's here. Are you guys, so is everybody, did this not work again? Amy, what's happening? Are there technical difficulties? Can you guys hear me? How come some people, Lou says she's watching on YouTube. Melissa watching on YouTube doesn't work. Okay. Well, kids, I'm sorry. This seems to be okay. So hopefully you're still watching and you're getting everything you need. You're watching and listening on YouTube. Okay, thanks, Hildy. Great, 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 great. So I want to hear from you. I want to hear your questions. I want to hear, your thoughts and what support you need. The chat box is working, but only if we have access to 2 windows. Okay, so then we're not going to do questions tonight. If you have questions, email me directly. Email Amy, and we will make sure that we get back to you. But I hope you're going to do it. And we also have the retreat coming up. So I was thinking retreat, and then I thought, should I bring that up now? Is that too confusing? But I had already started. So the retreat is coming up in March. So write that down, book it in your calendar, and manifest being there with us as well. It's really another part that helps you go super deep. And when I say deep, what I'm really only talking about is it's kind of like when you play tennis and the teacher has to say 500 times, I don't play tennis. I don't know why I picked tennis. Kelly just came home from a tennis lesson. Maybe that's why. But I don't know any terms about tennis. But if she talks about how she has one teacher who just kind of like says hit it and throws balls at her and hits back. But then she has another teacher who says, no, put your hand like this. No, your finger like this. Now take it at this angle. No, do it again. No, do it again. No, don't hit hard. No, do that again. Do that again. So it's somebody who is literally giving her feedback and feedback and feedback. And it's not that he's saying anything radically different, but it's through the repetition and then the application and then the repetition and then the application, repetition, application, repetition. But it's got to be that balance that causes that eventual shift from being someone who dabbles to being masterful. So that's my goal for this part of the training. And I know some of you guys have been working for a long time and invested for a long time, and you're getting stronger and you're getting better and everything is improving. So I just want to help those of you that have not yet jumped on board to teach, and I want to help those of you who have been teaching to get to your next level for your life and for your classes. Oh, cuties, I'm so sorry about the technical difficulties. Okay, so you're listening. All right, that's good. Okay, so I think we're going to wrap it up here. And yeah, if you have questions, anything that you want to hear more about, please email me and we can set up a phone call. And you can email Amy directly too if you have any questions that you think that she can answer. That would be great. But I'm looking forward to continuing together with you and finding new ways to bring this to more people. And I believe it's our time. I really, really do. I believe it's our time. And we got to be ready. Got to be ready. So that's it for me. Thanks to Amy for making sure everything ran smoothly. And we'll send you the link with the notes so that you can sign up. We have almost half of it filled already. So there is limited space. And that's it. That's it for now. Have a good night, you guys. Thank you very much again for being on this call and for continuing to represent and be an amazing leader and an amazing uplifter for yourselves and for others. Have a good night. Good stuff, Barbara says. Nice. You guys are still on?
Yeah, it won't go on live.
I guess we'll have to stay on.
We'll have to stay on all night.
Good night, good night, good night. Good night, good night, good night. Please, Yana, good night. Yeah.